Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Miguel Berchelt beats Mickey Roman in a brutal war and battle of attrition. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing if you want to become part of the gang. Notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the Super Chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, I just watched something crazy. I'm almost speechless watching that damn Miguel Berchelt versus Mickey Roman fight. What a war. I mean, this was crazy. It was like brutal. It's almost like gory to see somebody take that many shots. I watched it on ESPN Plus. Shout out to Top Rank for that. The fight, I didn't like score it. It's easy to see what was happening. First round was cool, competitive. You could tell the guys didn't like each other. The commentators were trying to build it up, real antsy. Second round was a good round for Mickey Roman. He didn't like Berchelt, and this was highly publicized, and he was coming for him. He even buckled. He buckled Berchelt and made his legs do a dance. And towards the end of the round, Berchelt actually came on strong and landed a lot of significant shots. I still would have gave the round, probably that second round, to Mickey Roman for his work in there, because I think he controlled more of the tone of it. And then I don't know the exact rounds, but shortly after that, it started to get away from Mickey Roman, and he started taking a beating. And when I mean a beating, he was just getting pummeled, shot after shot. It was like almost hard to watch, you know, if you just keep seeing his head rock back. I will say this fight, more so than other fights that I've seen recently in boxing, this was a hard one, I guess, for the teams. You know, there was bad blood, and they came to a really difficult decision. You have Mickey Roman, who, you know how some people say, I'm willing to die in the ring? He was literally willing to do that. You could see, I mean, there was no quit in him. So on one hand, you have no choice but to admire his heart, you know, put you in the mindset of Gotti Ward, Arturo Gotti, and, you know, Israel Vasquez, and, you know, Marquez's brother, Juan Manuel Marquez's brother. This was true Mexican style, that Abel Sanchez be talking about it. Two Mexican fighters, two warriors, and, you know, this guy, Mickey Roman, like I said, he looked like he was really willing to die in the ring. It was like no joke. He got knocked down a gang of times. I lost count, maybe 3 or 4. And, you know, ultimately it was stopped. The stoppage, like I said, it was a hard decision. I was even talking to my Twitter following about this. The question becomes, do you save your fighter from himself? Or do you, since he's showing heart and this much heart, and, you know, don't get it twisted, he was hurt and he was throwing some shots. He was really trying to knock out Mickey Roman. But I probably would have said stop the fight. It should have been stopped early, you know, because ultimately you have to have a life after boxing. You have to have your faculties intact after boxing. And the other thing is, it's not like Mickey Roman was an undefeated fighter. It's not like Mickey Roman, he had 12 losses. You know, it's not like Mickey Roman was this undefeated fighter with a clean bill of health. And, you know, he's been stopped before. Takashi Miura stopped him. I believe Antonio DeMarco stopped him. You know, so he's been through wars. He has like 70 fights. So in those smaller divisions, you know, he ran into some real good names in his career. So, you know, he had 12 losses, had been stopped before. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? What's the point to allow it to continue if your fighter, because can he even generate the amount? Everyone's waiting for that type of Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez moment where, you know, Marquez up against it and hurt and nose is bleeding and heart pounding, boom, 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 and then he just out of nowhere, bow, boom, and then knocks Pacquiao out. But that doesn't always happen. You know, that's That's like Rocky movies and stuff. You don't always get to see that. So, you know, a guy who already had 12 losses, who had 70 fights, wear and tear, he's fought everybody, like Javier Fortuna and different guys like that. It's just like, what's the point? Like, does he even have enough mustard on his punches, enough power? Can he generate enough power to even pull the trigger like this? Because he was taking some hellacious shots, not only to the head, but also Miguel Berchelt was raking his body. He was just getting strafed with meaningful shots. And Berchelt's younger. We already know he has cracks. He's strong, and he was gunning for it. You know, so I understand to a degree, you know, bad blood, and you don't want to see your fighter lose, but your fighter can ultimately lose if something happens to their health permanently. So I didn't see the need. It got to a point where I think the fight should have been stopped. Even the referee, like, even let's say he's not going to quit. We already know this motherfucker was like the Terminator. Fuck you, asshole. What are you doing? He was like the Terminator. So we knew he wasn't quitting. However, if his team, you know, it has to be like a chain of command. Okay, the fighter ain't going to quit. The team ain't going to quit. You know, the ref had several points where the ref he could have made the fight end before it ended. Because, listen, you got to look at it like this. The guy already has 12 losses. He's not the champion. He's the one with 70 plus fights. I'm sure he has a family, right? And ultimately, you didn't stop the fight, but the outcome still played out. So he just took basically an additional 3-4 rounds of punishment that he probably didn't even need to take, because he was on bad legs at round 3 or 4. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I understand it's a tough decision, but that's just my, you know, the humane side of me. But on the flip side, I will say this. That was probably Berchelt's toughest fight. Just because the dude, that has to be discouraging. I don't give a fuck I don't care what level. You could have Julian Jackson Wilder power. If you're hitting the dude and people normally be asleep when you hit him, and then the guy just keeps getting up, whether he's woozy and drunk and like you know, like he's on a boat or not, the fact that he's just getting up and still like slinging them things, that has to be discouraging to a fighter. So you got to be well conditioned. Now, I will say this: Mickey Roman, if it's too late. 70 fights deep, you know, whatever age he is, you can't teach an old dog new tricks per se, and then like reinvent his whole style. But if he had a basic grasp, like just more basic additions to his platform, then he could have maybe even won this fight. You know, I'm not trying to be like shoulda, coulda, woulda, but what I'm saying is, like, he had like absolutely no defense, flat-footed, walking forward, stalking, you know, not getting out of the way of too many shots. Like, there were sections of the fight when he was hurt and his head was just like whiplash and stuff. He was just getting hit with the whole combination. You can't do that. You know, like David Benavidez when he was bombing on Porky Medina, and Medina's head is just going all like a fucking pinball machine or something. But if he had like a jab and a better defense and could box a little bit more, he could have definitely won, just because he's that tough. He has a chin, he has power, because he hurt Berchelt in the second round, and he's relentless as fuck. So if he could have stayed a bit safe. But the thing is, with that type of style, you can't take that much punishment and then hope you can make it into round 10, 11, 12 and muster up enough energy when you've been zapped with vicious body shots and things of that sort, and now you like it. Just that doesn't make sense. So you got to be smart, you know, you got to preserve yourself and fight. So I don't know how the fans perceived it. It was an action fight for sure from the beginning. I feel bad for Mickey Roman in a way, just because, like I said, you just took 3 extra rounds of pure punishment, basically getting knocked down. You showed your heart, but we knew you had heart when you got up from the first knockdown, because that one was bad, you know. So the referee, I think the corner or somebody should have stopped it, because he wasn't going to stop himself. And you don't put it on the fighter either, because then now everyone says the fighter quit. You know what I'm saying? So you quit for the fighter. I think that would have made the most sense. That's just my opinion. I'm trying to be reasonable. I understand competition. I love boxing, but you know, the humane side of me, we didn't need to see all that, you know, because it was competitive at first, but then it started getting to like survival mode, and then Mickey Roman was showing some spots, but you know, it wasn't like Berchelt was like getting hurt enough to the point where it looked like he would be able to turn it around. So, you know, your fighter's just enduring punishment and additional punches after punches. You know, it becomes a lot. You know, his head rocking all back. His kids might be in the crowd seeing now that, you know. So that's just my thoughts. Fun fight. Berchelt was definitely tested, probably his toughest fight. This did make me reimagine and like reconsider some things. I always thought Berchelt could be like a good fight for Tank. Like, you know, I thought it would be one of the best. But what I seen tonight, I think Cervante Tank Davis, he'd be too much for Berchelt. Even though Berchelt's big for the division, you know, who knows? It's a good fight. Maybe we could watch it anyway. I'm down for it. But I just think Tank Davis, because he's explosive and he has more fundamentals. Berchelt was negating his height. He's like, looked really tall compared to Mickey Roman, or tall for the weight class. And he was negating that. So Tank would probably be shorter than him, but it's not going to matter because Tank has speed. He's explosive. He has punching power. He's southpaw. And on top of all of that, Miguel Berchelt gives up his height. You know what I'm saying? He's coming forward, and there was moments where he got a little too eager, little too overzealous for my liking, where he was so desperate to swing and try to connect. He was going after shots that won. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button, and you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxingego, the future of boxing.